Welcome to This is Henderson, the official podcast of the Henderson Tourist Commission, where we break down all things Henderson happenings, history, and hotspots. This is Abby Dixon.
And this is Ellie Keelan.
And this is Henderson. Guys, the Burr months are here. It's September. Welcome fall. That's what I say. September 1st. And one of my favorite things about fall is the fun, fall-ish festivals, like those festivals that just give you that vibe of fall is here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the fallest festival
Of them all.
is the Lions Club Arts and Crafts Festival.
Yay!
Yeah. So we thought, who would be better to come and talk with us about what we can expect at this year's Lions Club Arts and Crafts Festival than the Lioness Queen herself, Miss Maggie Collier.
Well, thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me. I'm so glad to be here. It's such an honor.
Well, we're so excited to have you. Tell us, before we really dig into the event that's coming up, tell us a little bit about yourself, Maggie.
Well, I was born and raised in Henderson, and then I went to college in Tennessee, moved to Nashville, and I moved back to Henderson in 2015. And so begins my professional adult life, if you will, back in Henderson. And I couldn't be any happier with my decision to come back to Henderson. I love the community here, and, I think you guys did this is my nature.
Yes.
I think community is my nature, and I just love community and the people here and just local businesses, local everything. So it's just been a great run, as funny as that sounds. It's been a great professional run in Henderson, and I can't wait to see, what else the future has to hold.
Yeah. And, Maggie, you look so bankerish in your blazer today.
Yeah.
So you've really transitioned into your new career very well.
I did, yes. I know. I guess I could have said that, but I'm now currently at Field & Main, and I'm the business development and marketing officer, so I get to go out and talk to new customers and talk to existing customers and, just talk to people on a daily basis, so that's fun.
And I feel like anything good, happening in Henderson, all of the events, so much of the volunteer work that's going on, rarely do you go out and not see Maggie playing an active role, either in front of the scenes or behind the scenes.
Oh,
and
well, thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for our community.
Oh, well, thanks. I feel like I'm just a natural cheerleader, right?
Yes,
that's my
you are.
personality. And so I have to use that, because what good would that be if I didn't go out and cheer on all of the organizations that I love? So we have so many good ones, you guys, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but you guys really do just get out there and you support all of our organizations. You're so good at doing that. So if I can just do a small part, I feel like it helps me as a person to thrive too, right? It's, as an extrovert, you need that
outlet.
Excitement, outlet that you get to have by watching the organizations succeed and help connect people to other organizations. So that's always fun too. But thank you, I appreciate that.
And you know what just hit me that I kind of forgot about? A few years ago, Maggie led a few of our tour buses around town.
I did. That was so much fun.
You were like a natural tour guide.
That was really fun. Well, they laughed at my jokes, and so I feel when you
Doesn't
find a crowd that laughs at your jokes, Abby can maybe relate.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it was a really fun time, and you guys were amazing at putting those together and getting those tourists here and just showing them Henderson. So I was happy to help with that. It was so much fun.
Okay, so whenever I present to the Lions Club, which Maggie is very involved in, and that's actually coming up at the last part of October, so get ready. I can always count on Maggie to laugh. Whenever I say something that's clearly funny and nobody else is laughing, I can always count on Maggie to laugh.
And we don't pay each other.
I know, we don't.
We sit in the audience and laugh at my jokes. We don't do that. We're just friends that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to have those peeps.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so speaking of Lions Club, this festival is really, how long has it been around? Ellie, you started going when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I was at the park when I was 6, so.
Yeah, And it was happening then?
Yeah, it was happening then. I don't know how long before me, but
Okay.
I remember the duration of me.
Yeah. For the duration of Ellie.
Of course, we talk about something I don't know off the top of my head, but it is on our
It's okay.
website. I should
Great.
know. But yeah, I think it's like, you said 30, 20 years, 30 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been decades
It's been a
for
while,
sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
So, like, as you know, our listeners know, with so many of our events, I feel like the proof is in the pudding. Whenever there's an event that has been around for decades, you know it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do just to kick us off. Will you paint a picture with your words of just what it feels like whenever you pull into Audubon State Park and you're experiencing the festival? Please leave out the part about the heavy traffic.
I was going to say, I don't know. Okay, when you come into Audubon Park, visualize this with me. Abby did a good job prefacing that. So visualize with me. When you come into Audubon Park, the trees cover the road, right? The leaves are falling to the ground, and you automatically see when it opens the booths of unique items that you cannot find anywhere else. So for example, there's metal pieces for your lawn, there are bird houses, there are painted pots, there are flower plant shops that sell flowers and plants. I mean, there is rocking chairs.
Alpaca wool dryer balls.
Yes.
Blacksmiths
Ornaments.
actively making things in
Yes,
front of
thank
you.
you. That came out better than metal things.
We all work
Yes.
together here.
But crocheted items, winter hats, ornaments, wreaths, and fall wreaths, Christmas wreaths,
Like
everything you
hand-carved
can't
wood
even imagine.
items.
Yes.
Jewelry.
Kettle corn, the food trucks. So I hope that gave you a really small sneak peek. But y'all, this festival is amazing. And I do remember, like Ellie said, going as a kid. And it's come a long way since then. As a, not necessarily a bad way or a good way from back in the day, but this year alone, the majority of our vendors, well, I shouldn't say majority, but a lot of them are new vendors, which
Wow.
means new goods, new things to check out, new items. And the best thing about our festival is everything is handmade. So that's one of our requirements. It has to be handmade. It cannot be mass-produced or bought, in bulk. It has to be produced
truly
You're not
by
getting
them.
this on Amazon.
Right.
Maybe Etsy.
Maybe Etsy, if they've put it on there, you're right. But so that's the best thing that we get to support. And kind of going back to our local love of community, right? This supports all local organizations and people that are just, trying to support local instead of, the big box stores, things like that. So it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I thought you did it, I love the visual of,
Yeah.
whenever you pull in, the leaves are changing. It's like a tunnel of trees.
It is, isn't it? It's really pretty, that entrance.
It just feels like fall.
It does. And it's a little chilly today, so it's kind of giving us that
Fall feel.
Sneak.
Fall
Yeah.
vibes.
fall vibes for sure.
Hocus pocus, people.
Yes, yes.
Spooky season.
That's right. Okay, and I remember, so the food trucks last year, I'm pretty sure I got kind of a creative, unique grilled cheese,
Yes.
and that was delicious. Will you tell us about, you can make a day of it out there. You can shop, you can experience the park, you can have lunch.
You're right.
Tell us about the food trucks.
And I think, to your point, that's a great point you bring up, because that's the thing that we've seen the most in the last few years is that people, like you guys know, they're looking for more things to do outside with their families and just more activities that are free or cheaper. So speaking of, the only price that we charge for the festival is $5 to get in per car. So if you think about it, you can load your car up with as many people as you can fit in there, and it's only $5 to get in. And that's the only sort of fundraiser we make from this event for the Henderson Lions Club. But for Abby's question, so Tacoholics is there, Tom's Barbecue, Anna Marie's Fajita Shack, the Twisted Toaster that Abby said that has grilled cheese, gourmet grilled cheese.
Gourmet, that's,
Yes, I love it too. And then JT's American Food on the Fly, Lydia Moving Kitchen, which is Bruce Lee, and everybody loves Bruce Lee's food truck. And so we just have a lot of different foods, so you can come, you can get dessert, you can get lunch, you can get dinner, you can eat all 3 meals there. And
And your
last year
extra
too, is it okay if I say how many vendors we had?
Absolutely.
So last year, I looked right before I came so I would know, but we had about 120 last year. And this year we already have 100, let me think. We have 92 vendors signed up, which is about 120 booths. They have 2 or 3 sometimes. And so with that said, the last month is the busiest because they're all getting their applications in. So I think we're going to be well over 120,
Wow.
130 vendors, which is great.
We have calls, even here to the office, just, no, folks that, no, we're happy
I said sorry.
people, we are happy, we get calls about, honestly, everything. Like,
Yeah.
you may be curious about when the garbage truck is coming around, and you
Where
may
to pay your
call
bills.
us. Yeah, we get.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so this
Okay.
is fun.
Yeah.
We get calls to the office, like vendors who have heard about the festival, but just maybe haven't taken that next step to get all of the information. And so we're always happy to point them in the right
Oh,
direction.
thanks,
So,
guys.
yeah, so I think it's going to keep picking up.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And then last year we had about 6,000 people come. And so, when people ask us
Wow.
how many
Yeah,
people
that's
attend, it's always hard to put an exact figure on, right? Because there's, we estimate there's about, I think we do about 2.5 people per car, 2.75
Like
or
average.
so. And so we average it, so there's no exact number. But also the weather plays an important factor. As you can imagine, it's all outdoors at the beautiful park. So last year the weather was perfect. So if it rains, it might be a little less, but we're hoping for another great, beautiful
Yeah.
weather year this year. So
Yeah.
But you know what? Even if there's a little bit of mist in the air,
true.
I'll say it again. It's fall, y'all.
It is fall.
Okay, so we kind of mentioned this earlier, but Ellie grew up in the park.
Not in like a homeless way. There's a house there.
Not
People
living in
get
the
confused
trees.
about that sometimes. So I'm like, I grew up in a park, and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. It's fine."
Ellie.
Yeah, I grew up going in Audubon State Park, and so I never had to deal with parking, which was nice. And golf carts were always accessible, so I didn't have to walk.
That is
There you
fun.
go.
That's what I remember. But I love the fudge table. I'm big on chocolate.
Way to add that in the conversation because people do need to know about that.
I mean, it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, because
And
a
the
lot of
kettle
time
corn.
people think we either have food trucks or crafts, but they forget about the little
Like
to-go
artisan
desserts.
crafts.
Yes.
The candy canes. There's like a big booth that I remember. I don't know if it's still there. It might be, but it has like
think.
the best candy canes ever.
Yum.
I was young, so I was just really into the candy
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
and the balloon artist who was there.
Oh,
That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
So,
And then also bread. I feel like
oh yeah,
I don't know if it's the same vendor, but I do know they had sourdough bread, homemade
Like
bread.
big bread.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what else because cinnamon rolls, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Homemade cinnamon rolls in the pan. And so a
So
lot of
good.
things like that. And I'm kind of walking through the booths in my mind, but handmade quilts, crocheted quilts, like things that you cannot find even on Etsy because you can't fill it, right? So these are the things you can go and fill,
and
like
meet
oven
the person
mitts,
who made
washcloths.
them.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
and
is
that's
so
the
cool.
most exciting. And a lot of times they do the craft there, like Allie said. What did you say a minute ago?
Like the blacksmith,
the blacksmith.
And the jewelry makers. I mean, growing up in the park, that was one of my favorite times of the year because I love fall anyway. But I've always been really big into like handmade stuff, and it was just really magical as a kid going. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, that sparked a thought. That's a great way to show your kids how things are made and how
Yes.
some people make things for either for a living or for a side job.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great memory that you have because you probably watched them and then you saw the finished product. But just in my mind, I'm like, that's a great visual to show your kids. This is how this was made.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a neat thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great place to take like the kids anyway, just because I remember just being in awe of everything. Like I feel like we grow up and we're like, oh yeah, that's a blacksmith. But as a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a blacksmith, and you're like, I thought those were extinct, you know?
Yeah, I know.
With the dinosaurs.
I mean, they were on Little House on the Prairie, but you don't see
Yeah,
them anywhere
yeah.
else, really.
Yeah.
And speaking of kids, even it's like a hayride that runs through a couple of tractors pull like a trailer.
Yes.
to transport you around the park.
Yes.
And that's even fun. I mean, I know it's a practical thing, really, but that's fun for kids to get to do.
Yeah.
You're right, because you can make that a whole activity. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey kids, let's go on a hayride, but really it's transporting you to go shop. And so they don't know that.
Everyone
they just think
wins.
it's a ride. Yeah, everybody wins. No,
Yeah.
but to Abby's point, so we do have our volunteers and they bring tractors and then we hook them up to the trailers with hay, and so that's a way that we help transport our guests from the parking lot to the booths, and because the park is pretty spread out. So
It is.
if you have trouble walking, it can be a little challenging, and so we try to help the best that we can with that, but a lot of it is just natural terrain
Right.
that we can't help, right? So
Yeah.
we try our best to help with that.
You know what? I'm thinking now, okay, so I always think about Audubon State Park as being kind of like its own little fairy tale. Like, it feels like something from a
Yeah.
storybook. The museum
It
and nature
does.
center looks like a castle. And then whenever you have these like really cool artisan vendors set up all around the park in the green space, it feels like you're in like a fairy tale village.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Christmas Village,
Yes.
Fall Village.
Yeah. So I don't know. it's
And you have
it's
the
a
most
magical.
interesting things like going around you. I don't know.
Yes.
It's not your typical just like festival fair,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And once you're in, so once you pay that $5 to enter, you can of course shop and experience all the thing that Maggie's talked about. But then if you just wanted to kind of take a walk around, there are, playgrounds, places to just kind of sit and enjoy nature.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's October the 5th and 6th. I think I forgot to say that when we first started.
That is
but
important.
For those wondering, it's always the first full weekend of October. And so October 5th and 6th, and that's going to be here. Today's the 4th. Oh my goodness, that's a
Yeah.
month.
Just about
Yeah.
a month
That's
away.
crazy.
Yeah.
So in this month, I feel like it'll fly by. Don't you guys think? Like once
Yeah.
September hits, it's like, oh, we're nearing Christmas. Start
Mhm.
Christmas shopping.
Mhm.
But speaking of too, I'm looking at in front of us. For those who can't see us, Abby and I have our big cups of water, and those are quite popular
Cheers.
these days, right? But we have a lot of vendors that sell these, and they are customized for you. So they have like school themes or your name, or there's just all kinds of things.
Great gifts.
Yes, great gifts. And so they do a lot of the custom ornaments, what else? The Christmas ornaments besides
They do.
ornaments. I'm
Yeah, they
thinking
do. Like,
something.
I know my mom bought like elf heads that had all of our names on them that you could stick in
Yes.
the ground. So
Oh,
like,
that's
mine had a
cute.
pink hat and Travis's had a red
Aw.
hat and super cute stuff.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I was
cute.
trying to think of, like Christmas decorations. Not
Decorations.
necessarily
And-
ornaments, but both.
And on the spot, like you can order one, and then like you can go back in like 30 minutes to an hour, and they'll have like the Keelans or like the Dixons like on an ornament or on a sign or something, and so it's really cool.
That is
That's
neat.
cute.
Aw, that is neat.
So, great way to celebrate fall. Great way to get started on your holiday shopping for some unique items that you can't find
Stocking
anywhere
stuffer
else.
season.
yes, true.
Exactly. Great place to grab breakfast, lunch, dinner, second dinner, and some fudge.
And support the Henderson Lions Club. Because
Exactly.
like we said a minute ago, like this is a fundraiser. We put it on for the community, of course. That's the number one goal. And then the Lions Club took it on, if you will, to be a fundraiser for us. So every dollar that comes into the Henderson Lions Club goes right back into the community, whether it's a grant for a local nonprofit or supporting a local nonprofit. We love to be able to help out, and we can only do that, by fundraisers. So we do these things to benefit the community. But Abby summed up this event the best possible. The Arts and Crafts Festival is a great way to start fall. Shop for Christmas, shop for holidays, bring your family out, enjoy the weather, and then also find something unique that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, love it.
I love it too.
Put her on the radio.
Yay! This was so much fun. And I feel like I'll add really quick, just so people don't call your office. I mean, they can. You were very
Yeah.
gracious about that. But if they do have questions and want to reach out, I'll just throw out our email address. It's hendersoncitylions@gmail.com. And then you can find us on our Facebook page too at Henderson Lions Club. Or call the tourist office. They love all the phone calls.
I know. You guys.
But thank you for for having us, Abby.
Yeah, and you know-
this was in LA. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
So, something that I was just thinking of that I want to just throw out there
Okay.
because I mean, fall is my favorite season. Okay, so we have the Arts and Crafts Festival October 5th and 6th.
Mhm.
The very next weekend on October 12th,
Oh yeah.
we have the Chamber of Commerce Market on Main and Chili Cook-Off.
cook-off.
I cannot
Perfect.
wait for the chili.
Me
I
too.
know, you
It's
guys.
like I'm getting the itch.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
Fall
Like, when can we
itch.
start making chili?
Yeah.
It's
I
a
was
little
already
cold
eating
outside.
soup.
My neighbor
Have
brought
you?
me a bowl of chili
Oh.
So it's
Monday
not too
night.
soon. It's not
So,
too soon.
yeah.
No,
I
if,
mean-
if you wake up and it's below 50 degrees, I mean, that's all bets are off.
I know,
Yeah.
that's a good, yeah.
I could eat
I like
chili
that.
year round, honestly. But.
I think I could too.
So, like, fall is in full
Bloom.
bloom. I know. It's full steam ahead with fall.
Yeah.
And we are
That's
here
good.
for it in Henderson, Kentucky. So, if you're listening and you're maybe not local, but you're looking for a little getaway, we have 2 great weekends. I mean, honestly, come in on the 5th, don't leave until the 13th. And you'll experience lots of fun stuff sandwiched in between those 2 great events,
Yes.
too. So,
And one thing, do I have time to add one more thing?
Yeah, go
I do
for
want
it.
to add, okay, so the locals do know that traffic, you know, I don't want to say is a negative thing, but it's challenging, right? So none of us really like traffic, and it's inevitable that it's going to be a little bit more crowded than normal. However, the pro tip if you come in the morning, it's not as bad as it is in the afternoon.
good to know.
Yeah.
So if you can get your family up and say, hey, we're going to have a full family day at the park, but we got to leave now. No, we open at 10. And so I feel like
Nice.
if you get there even at 10, 11, 12, after that on Saturday especially, it gets super crowded, which is a good thing. But if you don't like the traffic, I would suggest come in early on Saturday or come in on Sunday afternoon. So either one of those. But yeah, just come see us. We love everybody that comes and wave to us, and we're all volunteers, so thank you in advance for your patience. But we have a good crew, and we hope we do a good job for Henderson because we sure
You do.
love having the festival.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And you know what? Traffic, see, I'm like a glass half full person.
I
Traffic
try to be too. I know
is a sign of economic prosperity.
it is.
Yeah.
People
So-
going places, spending
I
money.
know. It's good.
moving,
It's good. And I
yeah.
love to see all the different license plates. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. That is fun.
okay, you guys, this has been so much fun.
Oh, me too.
We might make Maggie a permanent
please
co-host.
I could even do interviews on the street.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
I know. No, thank you so much for having me. It's
Thanks
always
for
an
coming
honor,
on.
and thank you for all that you guys do. You guys do a lot to support Henderson,
you.
and
Thank you.
I'll speak for Henderson. We appreciate everything that you guys do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Aw.
And thank you all for listening. Be sure to head out to the Arts and Crafts Festival at Audubon State Park, October 5th and 6th. We'll see you there.
See you there.
Bye, y'all.